Hi, I had to come on here today to talk about the interview that Elon Musk had with President Donald Trump last night. When I got on X this morning, I saw all of these negative headlines from our media about how bad the interview was. Now, if you didn't listen to the interview, you would think that Donald Trump said he was going to do something to everybody in the world. Let me tell you what it was. I sat there, and I normally don't listen to speeches or interviews, but I sat there and I listened to the entire thing, and it was really quite amazing. And I would implore any politician to say the same thing. If you want people to vote for you, then you need to address issues that are important to people. And so instead of the Democrat Party constantly bashing Donald Trump, you know what they need to do? This is what I say to them. You say the same things. You address the same issues. You address inflation. You address the war. You address freedom of speech that you guys are trying so hard to remove from everyone. When you address those same issues, or if you address those same issues, then your party platform would be about issues and not about Donald Trump.
He's kind of been thrown on his heels by this, and he's not really sure how to go after Vice President Harris. He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes a. I know.
That's supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
It's starting to become too obvious, right? The mainstream media today came out with a wall of negative headlines, as predicted by many people, including Elon Musk. A wall of negative headlines was so predictable. They're such NPCs. All this does is drive even more people to listen to the conversation themselves and realize how much the legacy media lies to them, right? And this is why many Americans do not trust the mainstream media. And the mainstream media, y'all did it to yourselves, because as you saw from the intro, I had a lady, right, black lady, come out, and she makes her opinions known that, hey, she sat down and watched the whole thing, and she enjoyed the conversation. But if you heard it from the mainstream media, Donald Trump slurred his words. He did this, like focusing on insignificant stuff. And you saw from my first video of the day, you saw that I found it was a very informative conversation. I preferred it a lot. Like, I liked the discussion. I liked the things they talked about. I gave you some of the highlights that I thought was important, and or what I gleaned from that interaction. And it's so funny how the mainstream media is sitting here trying to derive a narrative, right? But the reason why, and this is, I want to highlight this point, because I think the media has become so exposed that it is so obvious that you have left-wing people, and Stephen Colbert, I think that's his name, his audience was laughing when he said, you guys are objective, and everyone says, oh. And that shows you how the lack of credibility that the mainstream media has, especially CNN, because CNN, they ran on this platform of them being the middle guy, objective. Everyone knows everyone's bias. It's just how biased are you? Are you willing to put your bias aside? And the mainstream media has shown that they are not able to do so. I already pointed out, I know I'm beating a dead horse. If you're new to this channel, 97% of US journalists are Democrats. So is it no wonder they're so enthusiastically trying to defend Kamala Harris? And I think they're noticing this now, because now they're starting to ask questions. But before I go into that clip, let's read out this post here. The legacy media doesn't have time to report meaningfully because they are too busy generating fake, oppressive narratives. And this is why I called them the narrative machine. They're the narrative machine. Look at this. Narratives. That's all they have. Donald Trump, he's a racist. Can't tell you how he's a racist. Take clips out of context so that way they can spin a narrative about it. And they wonder why civilian journalism outpaces legacy media. What I'm doing right now is technically considered civilian journalism. The citizen journalism from the actual domain experts and people actually on the ground is much faster, more accurate, and less biased than the legacy media. Like, this is why they see X as a threat to their ability to hold the American people's attention. And that is the reality. And I think this is why they're starting to come circle the wagons on Kamala Harris. Check out this clip of CNN actually pushing back on one of the surrogates for the Kamala Walls campaign. Let's take a look.
What's on the vice president's schedule today? Well, she's traveling and talking to voters and getting her message out there to the American people, something that she's been doing from the very start of this campaign and something that she certainly did when she was President Biden's running mate as vice president. But look, you just mentioned the speech she's going to be giving in
But that's right. I was asking about today, and I don't think she's got any campaign events on the schedule today, does she?
Well, she and Governor Walz have been traveling across the country. They hit nearly every battleground state last week. On the campaign trail, they raised $36 million within the first 24 hours of Governor Walz joining the ticket. And what she's going to be doing Friday is taking her economic message directly to the voters in North Carolina. I certainly don't want to get in front of exactly what she's going to say, but she's going to talk a little bit about how she's going to make sure that she's putting consumers first as part of her economic plan. She's going to take on corporate price gougers. She's going to take on junk fees. And that's something that, John, she did when she was Attorney General of California, something she continued to do as the United States Senator of California. So she's going to be taking that message out to voters, and I look forward to seeing more of what she's going to say on Friday.
I think we all do, and I'll ask you more about that in just a second. The reason I was asking about today is because it seems like she has time, if she wanted, to do an interview with a member of the media or do a news conference, correct? There does appear to be that time if she wanted.
Well, look, she has said on the campaign trail that she would be doing an interview at some point. She said that, I think, last week during a rope line or when she was talking to reporters. But look, what is important here, John, is that she is taking her message directly to the American people. She hit a number of battleground states. I think we had 15,000 people in Detroit last week, 12 to 13,000 in Nevada. She's been taking her message to the voters and drawing large crowds. So she's actually having those direct conversations.
But not today. All I'm saying is
not
today. She could do an interview today, I would think, because she's not out there today.
Well, look, she's taking her message directly to voters, and just because she doesn't have an interview schedule on her public schedule doesn't mean that she's not taking her message directly to voters about.
Is hell freezing over? Did the CNN just give pushback and demand that Kamala Harris takes an interview? What the hell's going on? As you saw from the clip, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh my God, they're finally asking questions. They're finally asking, she got time today? Yo, just because she's free doesn't mean she's not busy. Finally. But I think it's because they're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the pressure that people are asking a bunch of questions and questioning because one thing I know about CNN, one thing I know about these mainstream media people, they'll defend, they'll cover for Democrats as long as they can get away with it. The minute they start feeling like their credibility is in question, that's when they happen to turn on the jets and be like, oh, no, we got to start throwing criticism her way. Elon Musk says he's happy to host a space with Kamala Harris. Is that leave in the comment section your likelihood of her actually taking on Elon Musk on that offer? 5%. I'll give it 5%. Let me know your percentages in the comment section. But this is something that it actually surprised me. What's on the vice president's schedule today? Kamala's spokesperson. She's giving a speech on Friday. It seems like she has time if she wants to do an interview with a member of the media or do a press conference. She's at some point closer to the end of the month than in the middle of the month, right? People are hammering this point home, right? Perhaps the most telling sentence in this cover story of Kamala Harris, her campaign denied a request for an interview for this story. It's hitting. 24 days. Mita, you went 24 days without asking this lady a question? Bro. No wonder they're starting to put on the jets. Black voters are coming out here emotionally describing how inflation is killing them. Yo, I keep telling black people don't want to listen to me. I just went off on Ricky Smiley, right? I heard Charlamagne try to had an interview with Vivek about a video coming out soon. But I keep telling black folks, yo, y'all too broke to vote for Democrats. I'm being dead serious. I'm too broke to vote for Democrats right now. Yo, this inflation no joke. Wait. Because this video is about the media's credibility, right? I got something for you guys. Y'all remember when inflation was supposed to be transitory? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when the media reported that? This is how the media loses credibility. The inflation scare doesn't match reality. When was this? 2021, May of 2021. Inflation looks bad now, but it's pretty much sticking to the script. This June 26, 2021. Why inflation we're seeing now is a good thing, MSNBC. Inflation is your fault, the Atlantic. This is the media. The media, This is the media, guys. Gaslight you, tell you what you see is not what you see. Don't believe your lying eyes, believe us giving you the truth. These people actually think they're the arbiters of truth. I honestly believe the mainstream media believe that they are the arbiters of the truth. They decide what the truth is, and all our job is just to listen to them. And this is what I'm saying. The mainstream, the media, the legacy media is not about informing people, right? I think I do more informing people than the mainstream media does. The mainstream media sits here and tells you a bias that you're supposed to have. They give you a perception, right? They warp reality. They give you an imaginary script. Trump is this. Trump is a racist. Take his airlift quotes, cut it up, make him look like a racist, leave things out of context, make sure it frames him exactly how they want you to perceive him. Push that out there everywhere, right? Just like the negative headlines on Elon Musk in the Twitter space. Watch it for yourself. I told you, you have to be your own filter. Anyone within the sound of my voice, you have to be your own information filter. I know it's tiring. I know you just want to sit back and let someone else filter the information for you. But end of the day, you can't trust these people. This is a profession. This is the most left-wing profession in America. Journalists. 97% of them, especially in the US, are liberal Democrats. They're not incentivized politically to paint their candidate, their preferred candidate, in a bad light. Inflation is killing everybody. They're going to put out pieces saying, hey, look, inflation don't meet reality. Guardian 2 months ago, says that majority of Americans mistakenly, falsely believe that the economy is bad. How about now? How about now? Unemployment is at 4.3%. How about now, Guardian? Look it up. The Democratic left, the left-wing media, do not want you to do your own research because it can lead to misinformation. Make you more skeptical of trusting the experts. Experts said a lot of things. Experts said that, hey, video games is just a fad. If you listen to that expert, you'll be out of the business right now. You'll be out of a business right now. Experts make all kinds of claims. It's just an educated guess, but it's still a guess. And if you don't have the ability to question your experts, not able to ask questions, not able to perceive, hey, make sure they're not trying to pull the wool over my eyes, you'll believe that men can be women and women can be men because a biologist said so. Someone's using their authority to push a worldview on you. The fallacy of authority is the number one thing I think every voter needs to understand. Hey, I don't care if you're an expert on this topic, you have to convince me. Because since you're the expert, you should be able to logically convince me that this is true. But too many times in our media, they put in front of people merely to craft the narrative. You know all about climate change, but you don't know why people don't believe in climate change. Why many people like me believe that climate change is an exaggerated problem. They don't put no one representing my voice on mainstream media. You're only getting filtered information from one side, right? The media is like a parenting dispute between a single mom and the father. All you heard was the mom's side of the story about your father. She cast him in a negative light. She said he don't like you, he don't love you, all this stuff. And you believe in that perception. You believe in that reality that was painted by your single mom. Then when you actually meet your dad, you're like, yo, this is nothing like the caricature my mom made him out to be. This is what the mainstream media is doing with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Make the Republican Party look like the worst party ever. They're so extremist. Oh, look at Project 2025, fear-mongering about it, when really it's just policy disagreements. And Trump didn't even endorse Project 2025, but you got all these liberal influencers trying to say that that's what Donald Trump is pushing when Donald Trump's actual platform is Agenda 47. You got to do your own research. In 2024, everybody got to do their own research. You can't just blindly trust people. At least with me, when you get information from me, you know I have a bias. You are automatically skeptical of me. But these people on the mainstream media, they don't get that same level of skepticism. And all I'm saying is have consistency. Be consistently skeptical of everybody, regardless if they're in their living room, bedroom, in some fancy high production studio. Distrust them. Be skeptical of them. Say, hey, what validity do they have to make this statement? Is this actually true? And do I actually believe it? That's the question you should ask yourself. But I digress. You're going to listen in on some black voters pushing back on the mainstream media about the key issues ahead of 2024.
How hard has inflation hit you?
It hit me hard. It's hitting me hard.
Who do you blame for it? I blame the federal government at this point. If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us. If you
Inflation is an invisible tax on the American people.
understand that. They're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves. It's either feed my child or how about feed my children and I don't eat, but I have to go work.
How hard has inflation hit you?
I'm telling you, many Americans can't afford voting for Democrat. I'm sorry. You vote for Democrat, bro. You voting for a fantasy. You voting for a dream, not reality. You're more frightened of an imagination than reality. What are you voting against? Trump, the imagination of Trump that the media has crafted for you? But this reality, it's hitting though. That's reality. What that lady just listed out, that's reality. Right? But you got to choose between feeding yourself or feeding your children. Reality. This is reality. But she gonna be the first black president, first black woman president. Alpha 9 Zeta did. No, that's fluff. Everyone wants to know policy. We want to know what the policies, what you running, what's your platform, Kamala, what's your platform? Trump got his on, Agenda 47. And to try to distract from the fact that Kamala doesn't have a platform, they try to make Donald Trump's platform something that has nothing to do with him. Kamala Harris supporters can't make arguments about why you should support their candidate without involving Donald Trump. Try it out. Try it out. Everyone within the sound of my voice, leave it in the comment section. Let me know if you're going to try this with your family members or friends that's going to vote for Kamala, or who say they're going to vote for Kamala, or who say they're leaning towards Kamala. Ask them, can you make an argument for Kamala Harris without some way tying in Trump? Many of them are going to struggle to do it. I'm telling you. And even if they are able to do it, usually it's going to be about abortion. Usually it's going to be about economic spending. Federal spending, the cost for federal, because look, there's nothing free in this world, right? Thomas Sowell, the great Thomas Sowell always said it best. Inflation is an invisible tax for government benefits. Government benefits, because due to government spending, creates inflation. So if the solution is tied with government spending, instead of reforming, cost cutting, or reallocating tax money to be more efficient, this is why I love the Elon Musk idea of, hey, we should have a commission that tests, that checks, that tracks, that analyze government spending, so that way it could be more efficient. I like that idea. That's what you was gonna get from the Twitter space. That's policy. That's, hey, what can we do about the problems? That's a solution-driven approach. Leave it up to an engineer to bring that up. But what Kamala's running on? Feelings, vibes, histrionics, flash, no substance. That's Kamala Harris's whole campaign. Flash, no substance. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you believe that the media is becoming too obviously biased now in this day and age? Do you think people trust the mainstream media now? Or do you think people still trust the mainstream media at a high degree? Right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.